Why do humans constantly seek to cross their own boundaries through the act of challenge? Is a limit a true end or a new beginning? Is the limit you cannot cross the end of your true ability, or simply the boundary of a challenge you haven't yet attempted? The history of humanity is, at its core, a record of challenges. From the moment we first learned to master the power of fire, we have crossed vast oceans, taken to the skies, and pushed ourselves toward the infinite reaches of outer space. Throughout this journey, humans have never ceased to test their own limits, driven by an innate desire to see what lies beyond. However, quite ironically, as we enter the modern era, many people have begun to prefer the safety of the known over the unknown. There is a growing tendency to avoid challenges where failure is a possibility, choosing instead the path of least resistance. Stable jobs, predictable lives, and choices that minimize risk are often packaged and sold to us as a form of wisdom. But at what cost? By choosing safety, we are gradually losing the very opportunities that allow us to truly grow. The problem is clear. Comfort may be maintained, but expansion stops. A life without challenge may be stable, but it never grows. The core insight is this: challenge is not a test of your existing ability. It is the very process of expanding that ability. Many believe they must be fully prepared before they can face a challenge. In reality, preparation is forged within the challenge itself. To cross a limit is not to use an ability you already possess. It is the act of creating an ability that was not there before. Therefore, challenge is not just about the final result. It is about the fundamental structure of personal change and evolution. Consider the journey of an athlete. In the beginning, even a short distance feels overwhelming and beyond their physical reach. But through repeated challenges, they find themselves capable of running longer and faster than they ever thought possible. Their body was not prepared from the start. It adapted and transformed specifically because it was pushed into the heat of the challenge. A limit is not a fixed point. It is a baseline that moves and shifts according to the experiences you choose to undergo. Let's look at another case: a young entrepreneur starting their first business. Initially, every decision feels strange and full of fear. Through the process of meeting customers and solving problems, they develop judgment and execution power they never had before. The challenge does not just yield a business result, it changes the person. Through challenge, you become a different individual entirely. Challenge is not about changing your environment. It is the profound process of changing yourself to thrive within any environment. The core message is undeniable. Limits are not discovered. They are redefined through the courage of the challenges we take on. To those who do not challenge, a limit is a wall. But to those who do, that same limit is simply a starting line. Ultimately, humans do not use challenges to prove their abilities. We use them to create abilities where once there was nothing. The changes you will gain are certain. First, you gain the power to turn fear into action instead of avoiding it. Second, you develop the mindset that failure is not an end, but a necessary and valuable part of the overall process. And third, you gain the rare and vital ability to expand your own potential and possibilities entirely on your own terms. Remember this: limits do not exist to stop you. They exist to show you exactly how far you are truly capable of going. If you don't challenge yourself, life is safe, but it is so safe that in the end, absolutely nothing will ever happen. Every great leap in human history started with someone who refused to accept a limit as a finality. It was a choice to move. When our ancestors first touched fire, they didn't just find warmth, they found a tool that redefined what it meant to survive. The first person to sail beyond the horizon knew they might never return, but the pull of the unknown was stronger than fear. Today, our horizons are often limited by the screens in front of us and the comfort of our daily routines. This is the trap. We mistake predictability for security, and in doing so, we forget that our spirits are built for the wildness of growth. Every day spent in total comfort is a day where the boundaries of your world remain static. They do not grow, they shrink. Challenge is not just about extreme sports or massive risks. It is the daily decision to do something that makes you slightly uneasy. It is in that slight unease that your brain begins to rewire, your muscles begin to strengthen, and your vision begins to clear. The bird doesn't know it can fly until it leaves the branch. It doesn't wait for a manual, it learns through the air itself. If the athlete waited until they were ready to run a marathon, they would never put on their shoes. They run to get ready. Growth is incremental. Each challenge you meet adds another brick to the foundation of who you are becoming. Each step counts. You are not the same person at the end of a challenge as you were at the beginning. You have been fundamentally re-engineered. The entrepreneur who fails and tries again has a wisdom that no textbook can ever provide. They have skin in the game. Our failures are the cracks where the gold of our experience is poured. They make us stronger and more beautiful than before. A child doesn't see a fall as a failure. They see it as a natural part of learning how to walk. We must reclaim that spirit. When you stand before a limit, do not look at it as a stop sign. Look at it as the place where your real work begins. Inside you is a reservoir of potential that can only be unlocked by the pressure of a challenge. Let that power out. We are not just surviving, we are creating. Every challenge is a creative act that builds a new version of yourself. Fear is the compass pointing toward your next area of growth. If it scares you, it is likely exactly what you need to do. The only way to diminish fear is to walk directly through it. On the other side, you will find a version of yourself you love. Growth is a cycle. Each challenge leads to a new limit, which leads to a new challenge. This is the beautiful rhythm of life. As you expand, your world expands with you. What seemed impossible yesterday becomes your new normal today. We stand on the shoulders of those who challenged their limits before us. Now it is our turn to build for the future. Life is an adventure, but only if you choose to leave the port. The safest place for a ship is the harbor, but that's not its purpose. I ask you today, what is the limit you are currently staring at? Is it truly a wall, or is it your next starting line? You have strengths you haven't even met yet. They are waiting for a challenge to call them out into the light of day. There is a deep, soul-level joy that comes from pushing yourself and realizing you are more than you thought you were. In the end, we rarely regret the challenges we took on, even the ones that didn't go as planned. We regret the ones we missed. To live boldly is to live in a state of constant self-redefinition. It is to refuse to be pinned down by your past. We are infinite beings in a world of finite appearances. Our only job is to bridge that gap through the act of challenge. Every morning you have a choice. You can choose the safety of the known, or you can choose the growth of the challenge. The path of challenge is rarely the easiest, but it is always the one that leads to the most spectacular views of your life. True mastery is not over others, but over the parts of yourself that are afraid to grow. Challenge is your tool for mastery. Struggle is the gift that reveals your true character. It is the fire that burns away the non-essential and leaves the gold. When we challenge ourselves, we inspire those around us to do the same. Growth is contagious and transformative for all. Imagine your future self, the person who didn't back down. That person is waiting for you to make the first move today. Do not wait for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. The moment becomes perfect only when you choose to act within it. The road is open. The horizon is wide. The only thing missing is your decision to step out and see what you are made of. Leave the stagnant waters of safety behind. Dive into the rushing river of challenge and feel the true power of your life. In the end, the choice is yours, safety and silence, or challenge and growth. I hope you choose the latter every single time. Reach for the limits you think you have, and you will find they are just the beginning of your journey. Keep challenging. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the human spirit. May your challenges always lead you to higher ground. Expand your thinking through Humanities with Jongmoon Ko. Subscribe and like to keep your soul enriched. Wishing you all the best. Reach out to James Ko at k90391198@gmail.com. Hashtags, challenge spirit, self-development, growth mindset, overcoming limits, humanities, AI era. Search for how to challenge yourself, features of growing people, self-development strategy, overcoming failure, ways to overcome limits, and execution power.